If you've ever heard anyone say they're stitching 2/1 or 2/2 and you had no idea what that meant, then today I'm going to explain exactly what this little bit of cross-stitch terminology is all about. Hi there Stitchy friends, I'm Kat from Catkin and Lily, bringing you the best tips, tricks and tutorials so you can get the most joy from your cross-stitching. Now, I'm going to use some slides as I talk through this because I think it will be much easier for me to show you exactly what I mean. So, let's break this down. When you hear stitching X over Y, what are those two components? X is the number of strands of thread that you're using, and Y is the number of blocks or threads of fabric that you're stitching over when you make a full cross stitch. So X is pretty straightforward, but let's explore Y a little bit more. Because Aida is manufactured with little blocks of threads, you would really only ever be stitching over one of these blocks, so Y is pretty much always going to be 1. Now the number of strands, so that was X, may well vary. So you could be using one strand, and that's 1/1. You could be using 2 strands, and that would be 2/1. Or 3 strands would be, yep, you guessed it, 3/1. Now, it's a tiny bit different for even weave or linen because that doesn't have the block structure of Aida, and instead you've got lots of thin threads going in both directions. So you can, with these fabrics, be stitching over one of these little threads or over 2 of these little threads. So Y will be 1 or 2. And you could use a different number of strands. So again, X can vary in the same way as it did with Aida. If you stitch over just one tiny thread of the fabric with even weave or linen, with one strand of thread, then that's 1/1. And of course, if you do the same but increase to 2 strands of thread, that's now 2/1. If you stitch over 2 threads of the fabric, you could still use one strand of thread, so that would be 1/2. If you go up to 2 strands of thread, then now you have 2/2. Now I haven't included this one on the pictures on the slides, but of course, if you increase up to 3 strands of thread, you're now doing 3/2. I hope this has made sense of a potentially quite confusing bit of cross-stitch terminology, but if you do have any questions, then just drop them below in the comments and I will try and help you out. Now, this was intended just as a quick tip to talk through that bit of terminology, but if you want to know any more about the different types of fabric, about fabric counts, or about how many is the right number of strands to use for your cross stitch, then I have videos on all of those topics. So I'll link those all in the description below if you want to take a look. If you found this video helpful, then give it a little thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you can stay in the loop for more stitchy tips and tutorials, and also some more behind the scenes videos of sharing updates of what I've been stitching on. Those are the ones labelled floss tube. Thank you so much for watching and happy stitching.